States of America. Unity and oneness is what we're made of. One nation under God, it's plain to see. We're showing the whole world what a country should be. United we stand in America, hand in hand in America. Together as one in a land that we love. United we stand in America.
Good morning, everyone out there. Welcome to Changing Times. It is Wednesday, January 21st. This is show number 276. We are live at the Axe Media Group headquarters in Springfield, Missouri. And as you see, Dr. Mary Byrne is not here again today. She is up in Jefferson City working with the Senate. That's her job during the legislative session that just started in January in Missouri. But she will be here from time to time, and we'll have some guests, co-hosts from time to time that you all will enjoy. But I am Lynn Morris, and I tell you what, today we have a great show lined up. It's a very important topic, and that is domestic violence, domestic abuse. And our guest today is Jarod Alexander. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me this morning.
Well, I tell you what, I'm glad you're here because you have an important role. You're the executive director at Harmony House. And Harmony House, I just read not too long ago, 50 years, 1976.
That's right, 50 years.
And 50 years, that is a long time to serve people. And so we're going to dive into that. But before we do that, I want to take the opportunity to talk to people. We have, Jarod, we have people watching probably from all 50 states today and maybe some other countries. And January is a good time to be thinking about how you want to change your life, how you want to make your life better. And I've done this the last 2 weeks. It just is in my heart to do this for people. I've always made resolutions. I've done that for a long time, but I've not been very good about keeping some of my resolutions, like losing weight, being on a diet, eating healthier. You do it for a while, but then you kind of stop. But I'm going to talk to you just real quick before we start our kind of basic, most important part of the show, talking to Jarod. But you know, this is a great time of the year. Great time of the year to find Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. This is a great time to understand what God has done for us. And I know everyone out there, He has done things for you. Sometimes you don't know it. He's working on the side or the back of you. You don't know what He's done. But between Father and Son, we have life for eternity, not just on this earth, but forever and ever and ever. And so if you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and this is January the 21st, you have time right now, while you're sitting wherever you're sitting at, you have time to start to find out who Jesus Christ is. It's very easy to ask Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior and to ask God to forgive the sins that you've done. We've all committed sins. We all continue to commit sins. We're not perfect. And so it's not hard to do. It's extremely important because we don't know how long we're going to be alive. I've had 2 serious car accidents in my lifetime. Both times the Highway Patrol told me that I should be dead. I'm not dead, okay? And so God watches over us, and He has plans for you. And today there may be people out there that have some type of mental issue. Maybe it's anxiety. Maybe it's depression. Loneliness. It's all kinds of things. But if you had Jesus Christ on your side, you will have a much better life. We're all going to have downs, but it's better to have Jesus Christ when you're down because you're going to have ups too, and he'll be there with your ups too. So I hope that you will do that today. And also a great time to start reading the Bible. If you've never read the Bible, just get you a Bible. There's lots of ways to get free Bibles, and I just honestly would love for you to read the Bible this year. Some people, I've read it once all the way through. I need to do it again and again. The more times you read and study the Bible, the more you'll learn about really what you need to know about, okay? And so that's good. And the last thing I want to say is prayer. Prayer is extremely important. It's a tool. It's a way to communicate to God and Son. And I'm telling you that if you, and people say, well, I don't know how to pray. Well, when I first started learning how to pray several years ago, I wasn't very good at it. It's Dennis. You're going to think Dennis is our volunteer producer. We're just all volunteers. But the funny thing was, long time ago, when I had a girlfriend in elementary school, probably 5th or 6th grade, maybe seventh grade, I actually would write down 4 or 5 things that I wanted to talk to my girlfriend on the phone about because I was nervous. And I wasn't very good with conversation back then with girls my age, okay? Very young, but I was doing that. Well, same way with God. When I first started praying, I wasn't very good. I didn't make complete sentences. I kind of stumbled around about things. But today, once you, I'd say, get the hang of it, you actually will communicate very well with God, and you don't even have to worry. If you don't ever communicate very well, he'll figure it out. He knows what you're going to say. He knows everything about you. And so I'm just telling you things. If you want 2026 to be a great year, with all the problems we have in this world, and we have plenty in our own country, and we have plenty around the world, he is the person you want to be with. So I hope that made sense to some people today. But anyway, so we are going to talk about Harmony House. So 50 years, and are you guys doing some special things this month for 50 years?
We're going to be doing a lot of things the entire year. We're going to use the year to really celebrate the great work that we have been doing, the places that we came from and grew out of, and really just shine a light on all the great work, but continuing to tell people about the need that exists, in even 50 years later, of why we exist and why our mission is so critical to this community.
Well, Jarod, so the need is increasing every year, right?
Yeah, in a lot of different ways. So we did see an increase in our hotline calls that we responded to in 2025, year-over-year increase from 24. We saw a larger number of folks that entered shelter. We saw a larger number of interactions that we had with clients in the community that may not need shelter, but through court advocacy or interactions at the Family Justice Center in Greene County. We've just seen the need increase in a lot of ways through the multiple programs that we offer.
Well, what's interesting, I researched with AI last night on domestic abuse and domestic violence, and of course a lot of it probably kind of goes hand in hand with homelessness, it looks like to me. I mean, a lot of the people who are homeless are people who maybe affordable housing is a problem for a lot of people, but this domestic violence and domestic abuse seems to send a lot of women, in either single or with family with children, out of the house, and they need help.
Yeah, there's certainly an overlap, and either one becoming before or after the other. There's certainly an overlap, and that's a challenge in making that decision to leave in the first place. Because if you don't know where you're going to go, and your options are limited, oftentimes individuals will become homeless, or may bounce around from different places, and homelessness in varying degrees. But and that's why the shelter component of what we do is so critical, because we want to take that piece of the decision-making process out of the equation of you do have a place that you can turn to. If you don't have, family or friends or the means to support a place on your own, there is a safe and secure location available for you.
Well, and one of the things I was thinking about, Jarod, is I just wonder, and what we were talking about when we first started about knowing Jesus Christ and maybe having a church home, finding a church to go to. A lot of people, I've even had some people that Janet and I have known, and in women, and there was 2 or 3 in our lifetime that was going through domestic violence. But it seems like that it's a human instinct. You don't want to give up. You don't leave, even though it could be dangerous. Could even lead to death. I mean, but they seem to keep going back, staying, and then it seems to kind of keep getting worse.
Yeah,
to a point.
Yeah, the national average is that an individual will return to an abusive situation an average of 7 times before they make a final break. And that can have many different reasons, financial need, housing, needing to work. If there are kids involved, that complicates things for sure. But a person on average will return 7 times before they make a final break. And so that's why we're always available, and we will see sometimes clients come back to Harmony House multiple times because we know that data. We know that the dynamics of abuse are such that it's not just as easy as you leave and the first time it is the trick, right? So having people in place, whether they're in shelter or our outreach staff, therapists on site, and a large referral network of all of the great partner agencies that exist in Southwest Missouri and across the state, we can find the people to help that they need to make those right decisions for themselves. That's going to ultimately empower them to live a life free from abuse one day.
Well, I think that's great. So if they had a church home, they could maybe talk to a minister. I have a feeling that a lot of these women, and it's mostly women, but it can be some men. So we're going to talk about men too. We're not going to leave men out. But I think most of the times it's the victims are women and their children.
Yeah, predominantly.
If they have children. But if they had a church home, they could talk to a minister maybe or a Sunday school teacher or something like that. Do you guys get calls on your hotline with just they're not ready maybe to move out yet, but just to talk to someone?
Absolutely. Every single day.
Those calls.
Every single day.
Yeah.
And we want those calls.
Yeah.
We want people to call and talk to our advocate team because if they're just considering or, even someone calling on behalf of someone else that they know and love and they're concerned, we'll take those calls as well because we want to be part of that process. We want to educate. We want to safety plan. That's a large part of what our advocate team will do on the hotlines, and our navigator team at the Family Justice Center is I'm not ready to leave today. I'm not sure that that's what I want to do today, but we want you to be prepared in all the ways that we understand to help you make that decision. And that's planning for your safety, your kids' safety. Do you have all the identification documents necessary? Are you prepared in all the ways that we can talk through so that when you're ready, you get to make that call, but you've thought through all the possible scenarios. Because one thing that we also talk with clients about is, the most dangerous time for that individual is that first, 48 to 72 hours after they leave. Domestic abuse is all about, it is rooted in power and control. And when you have left that scene, you have left that home, the abuser has lost control. And can be very unpredictable, and we may not know what happens. And unfortunately, some things are turned out very tragically and have some unfortunate consequences at the end. And so we want to prepare clients for those and be prepared that we know that the most dangerous period is right after someone leaves. And so let's think through all the possibilities of what could occur and how to prepare yourself and your family for that time.
Oh, very good. So let's talk about let's talk about day one. If someone comes in and we'll say they have 2 children.
Sure.
Okay, so there's children, and maybe we'll say they're school age. What kind of benefits, services, what are they going to experience?
Well, first and foremost, we start with, we believe you. And we want to hear what's going on. We want to help, and we believe you. And that's so important for survivors to hear, because that's a concern that's constant of, nobody's going to believe me if I said what was going on. They wouldn't trust my story. They wouldn't believe that this person I'm telling them about is doing all these horrible things. But we believe you, and we want to start with that. And upon entering shelter, there's a room for you and your kids. And it is your room. We have rooms for one single adult or one family per room, so they're not shared spaces. And you're going to get everything that you need. If there's clothing, if there's personal hygiene items, we're going to take care of that. If you weren't able to bring enough of those things with you, or none of those things with you, our boutique and donation center are going to take care of that for you and the kids. We offer 3 meals a day through the kitchen, so meals are not something you have to worry about. And everybody's on different routines, but we've got regular meal schedules out. We've got a family advocacy program that is going to help make sure the kids are cared for and the kids have the resources they need. And our case managers helping to are they in school? Are we making sure that the bus is here and the bus schedule, or your kids are getting to school on time? Did we have to change schools in the process here? And we'll help facilitate all those things. And then there's a whole host of resources that exist within shelter and outside, as I mentioned, with our referral partners of, we're going to sit down with those clients and say, tell us about the needs that you have, and not try to fit them into a step 1 through whatever of program. We're going to hear your needs and work for what you are needing in your journey right now. And we'll go from there. But a lot of resources that exist in life skills classes and regular programming going on in shelter, but also reaching out to referral partners of things that maybe we can't, we're not the experts in, but we know who is, and we can connect them to those resources out in the community, whether it's housing, it's job readiness, it's whatever they may need.
Well, very good. I think this is very complicated, and we're going to try to tell some of the folks that's watching today maybe how they can help someone if they know someone that is going through this. So when they walk in, they may not have a lot of clothes with them because they may have gone out pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so you're going to help them with clothing.
Absolutely.
Probably women need some cosmetics and things and stuff like that. They're probably going to need stuff like that, personal
There's
things.
a little bit of everything. Our boutique is one of the coolest parts of our building, and primarily because we have such generous donors. People trust that we're passing these things on to our clients, and we get a lot of clothing donations, hygiene products, and whatever, and shoes. And we have a great team of a staff member and some volunteers that they get to act as kind of personal shoppers. So you get to go in and pick out whatever you want, and you get that time for you and yourself, and to really just be comfortable. And we want you to have the basic needs met, but also to have those comfort items that you would want too.
So that's probably a good part right now to kind of let people know if they want to donate clothing. Women's going to donate some clothes. Men, you probably have some men's needs too.
Absolutely, all the time.
So men and women, if you want to donate clothing for children or for adults, how do they find out? How do they contact you?
Well, we always have a needs list going on our website, myharmonyhouse.org. And then there's also a way to set an appointment. We do those by appointment only because we're a very secured facility, as you can imagine.
Yes.
So we want to know who's coming and when, and so setting appointments with our donations coordinator is the best way to do that. And there's a phone number listed for everybody to do that. And she'll have an opportunity to visit with you and talk about maybe what needs might have changed since maybe you saw it on the website, or if we've gotten some turnover in shelter and what types of clothing, if we're needing more sweatpants for kids or coats right now or whatever. So having that opportunity to visit with Dana is going to be really important, not only just to set the appointment, but to talk about where you might be able to assist. And then coming in and she'll arrange that whole thing, or our volunteers that are there daily will help accept those donations and make sure that we're getting them where they need to go.
How many employees do you have?
We have just crossed the 60 mark.
60.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite a few, but you know what? I think we're going to kind of paint a picture as we go along about how many people are going to that stay there every day and stuff like that. And they're going to probably think, well, that's not very many people. And then how many volunteers?
We'll have over close to 200 volunteers in a year, and that's our shelter volunteers and program volunteers that help with everything like donations that I mentioned in the kitchen, our front desk. If you call to the main desk to talk to somebody, you're going to be greeted with a volunteer. You come by shelter for appointments, that's all volunteers. And then we've got different programs and resources throughout the year that will have help from volunteer groups that come in.
Very good. So in Southwest Missouri, if you're living in Southwest Missouri, what's a phone number they can call?
Yeah, the easiest way is 417-837-7700. That's the main office line to Harmony House.
Okay, very, very good. So what I think's interesting is now let's talk about how many residents that you have come in. So on a typical day or week, how many people do you have in your?
It can vary, and because I said we're one single adult or one family per room, that kind of changes the number. But typically, what we would say is full at any one time is right around 95 people.
95 people.
Yeah, and no, last year we saw close to 300 new individuals that were welcomed into shelter. But at any one time, it's right around 95. And that's always going to vary on the size of the family. It could be a parent and one child coming into shelter. It could be a parent and 6, 7 kids coming into shelter. Whatever that is, we want to make sure that we're accommodating their need.
Well, so let's talk about volunteers. This is a time I've always liked to talk about volunteers. We have a lot of volunteers down in Christian County, too, with all the different nonprofits and things going on. And we have volunteers that help us in county government, too. So volunteers are the lifeblood of every organization. You couldn't do without the employees. They're essential. However, the volunteers are people who love what they're doing, and they're going to be very good at it, and they want to help. And if you didn't have volunteers, you probably don't have enough money to pay for the employees.
There's no way that we would be able to do some of the programs that we do to the extent without volunteer support. Our donation center, again, I kind of use that as an example. There, it would look very different. Yeah. We would have a lot of stress in that room and a lot of stress in that part of our building if not for the large team of volunteers that are there every single day on different schedules. But in the kitchen, the same way. It could go all the way through shelter and tell you about where volunteers go and how they just expand the reach of the support that we can give to people is what's so important. And you're absolutely right. If we didn't have them, we would be a much different organization. That's for sure. You
have some younger volunteers and some older volunteers.
They run the whole age range. Absolutely. Yeah. We'll have families that will come in and help serve a meal together, and we have retired individuals that are on a regular schedule with us. That we see them every Tuesday or we see them every Monday and Friday, whatever it is. But we in college groups that will come in and help with programs. The holidays, as you can imagine, take a lot of hands to make a lot of magic happen around the holidays, and we're so appreciative to the volunteers that show up, not just for the Christmas holiday, but for Thanksgiving and Halloween and Valentine's Day coming up. Because while families are in shelter, we don't want them to miss out on those opportunities.
Right.
Just because you're in at Harmony House, we want those things to still be special. And so I'm so grateful for our team and proud of our team that do that make these moments really meaningful for especially our kids that are in shelter, but for everybody.
Right.
That they're important, and we don't want you missing out on those.
Yeah, life goes on, and you want to make sure it's as good as it can be. So this is a good time to think about this. Folks all over this country right now, I'm hoping and praying that you have a facility like a Harmony House, like we have in the Springfield area. And I bet you do, because of all the domestic abuse and violence going on in this country, and it seems to be increasing every year. I'm hoping that you have something similar to Harmony House. And if you don't, I'm sure people could contact you to try to model after you.
Well, I tell you too, if anybody anywhere is needing some support, our hotline we respond to calls coast to coast.
Really?
Not just here in Missouri, not even just here in Springfield. That we receive calls from across the entire country and across the globe every year.
Wow.
And that hotline number, please call us. If you or someone you know is needing support, 417-864-7233. And that is 864-SAFE is an easy way. 417-864-SAFE.
Okay, 417-864-SAFE, and that would be a great number. That is a great resource, and I bet you can help them plug into someplace.
And that's the point I was going to make, is that even if, calling from somewhere out of state and you need support where you are, our advocates are happy to help search through our networks, try to find those services where you are, or in some cases, we've had folks traveling to us from out of state because they are trying to flee, they are trying to escape the situation that they're in. So yeah, I would encourage people, please share that number. Please visit our website. There's also a free live chat feature where you'll speak online with the same person you would be talking to on the phone. It goes right to our advocate office, and both of those things are 24/7 access. They're free, they're confidential, and you can talk to a trained advocate that's ready to talk to you.
Very good, very good. Well, I tell you what. So let's talk about. So how about a child that's of course, I guess the mom is there, but that's not in school yet. So they're going to take care of their own children, or are they going to have help during the daytime?
Yeah, we do not have
Not
a
a
full-time
daycare.
child care program.
Right.
No, we have temporary child care services available with our family advocates, but there are going to be things where, like, if you've got an appointment with your case manager in shelter for an hour and a half, you can schedule time with our family advocates to be with your kids and give some supervision there. But one of the other things that we do is we try to, again, in those referral opportunities, is help locate and help facilitate conversations with full-time child care and that it may be outside of shelter, so that when your family leaves Harmony House, that's a seamless transition. It's one less thing that needs to be worried about of, we've left and now what do I do? We want to try to identify those things while you're with us so that it's less of a stress as you exit shelter too.
So, Jarod, is it 90 days? Is that or is it a little bit longer?
It is an extended, it's a flexible length of stay.
Flexible.
It's as long as you need it. Which is a really unique change that we were able to make.
Because it used to be, I think it used to be a time.
You're correct. Yeah. One of the things that we learned as a positive out of COVID, and we were all forced to do some distancing and limiting of number of people in the facility, was we found one that fewer people in the rooms, we were in fewer people in shelter. We were seeing higher outcomes in participation in some of these other services and programs, and the outcomes of conversations with our case management team and therapists and all those things. But then we were also, as we dropped the 90 days, we saw people that they were able to take advantage of those for longer periods of time that were beneficial to them. And it really didn't extend our average length of stay. So people weren't just staying forever. I think we can all agree nobody wants to be in a shelter forever. They want to have those things ready that they're empowered to move on and be on their own. It really didn't add to our average length of stay too terribly. Really only went up to about 90 to 100 days. So we saw people staying about the same length of time, but taking advantage of more concentrated time with their resources in shelter.
I think this is great what you're doing, because there's not that pressure then of
Absolutely.
knowing, what am I going to do? I'm on we'll say if it's 90 days, I'm on 80. What am I going to do? And then you start getting anxious, and all kinds of things can happen. So as a person starts to prepare to leave your facility, that it looks like to me probably housing and maybe employment would be two important things for them to do. You probably, during that time when they're in your facility, they probably can get help with Medicaid. You probably can help sign them up with different programs, financial help.
Yeah, all of those things
all those things you're going to do.
Yeah, all those things either with our staff or, again, with a long list of referral partners that come on site, or we can arrange for meetings off site. But we have housing.
So you help them with housing.
We have a couple of programs.
They got to have housing.
Yeah, we have a couple of programs to be able to help with housing. The job readiness, there's a number of volunteers and professionals around the community that love to come in and talk about, what's a resume look like? Where do we start looking for work? And how do you prepare for interviews and all the basics around job readiness and employment readiness? And just having those constant conversations through our case management team of how's that going? Tell me about, I know we had an interview yesterday. How did it go? What can we help you with on the next one? Or what do you need, or how are you feeling about that? So.
Do very many of them come in to Harmony House with an automobile? Do they have transportation?
Some.
A lot of them do. Some of them do.
Some, yeah.
So that's another issue, is trying to, if they're going to be out on their own again, they're either going to have to be close to a bus stop, or they're going to have some type of transportation. So that's something else that you're going to help with. So one of our sponsors is Springfield Nissan, Springfield Kia, and I know John Whittaker is very good at helping out. I don't want to speak for him, but on the other hand, he might be able to help somebody with a used car, because I know they're very generous, and that's why I like him as a sponsor, is because they've been good sponsors for a long time for us. But so that's it. So let's talk about, and then we'll talk about men. I don't want to forget men, but some of the events you have during the year. So right now there's a Purple Ribbon event that is it going on now, or is it going to start sometime?
You're talking about the Purple Party coming up this spring?
Purple Party.
Yeah, the Purple Party's in April.
And
that is a super time. If you've never been to a Purple Party, I encourage you to check that out if you're local here and come in. It is a party. It is not your sit down and have dinner and listen to us, speak from the stage and all those things. It is an 80s themed rock and roll party. It is a night out. We have an 80s cover band that plays all night long. We do get up and speak briefly, and we tell you about the mission, but it is just grab your friends and your coworkers and come on out and have a really great time celebrating and raising funds for an important cause. But we love the Purple Party. This will be its 11th year.
11th year.
Yeah, so we're gearing up for that right now.
Wow, that sounds good. So if they're interested, they can call you or check your email out, and so that would be good. So what's other things that you guys are doing, gearing up for in 26 events?
So we always have our I Care campaign, which runs in October. October is always a special month. It is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and so you'll see not only Harmony House but several other organizations around Southwest Missouri and across the entire country talking about programs, talking about where resources exist, and getting people out and understanding more about abuse and how to educate them about how to connect to those resources as well. Locally, that means for us, we mobilize the business community around Southwest Missouri to raise awareness through our program called I Care. It's been going on for 11 years now as well, where we want to put these resources in all the places that people might see it, whether that's in an office setting, it's at a restaurant, it's in retail establishments, it's wherever. We want that hotline number, those resources, those education materials for those employees and employers to know how to support the people around them and the people that they're interacting with in their businesses. So that's been going strong now for 11 years as well. And that will always be a big one for us. We also look, I'd say keep a close eye on our website and our social media channels as well for different events that we'll be having popping up. We do a lot in our prevention education programs now too. And there's events that we'll be at either with a table at different community opportunities, or we'll be hosting different sessions centered around education of abuse, working with different community members and community awareness groups as well, to just be including them in that conversation too. So a lot going on, but we want to be a lot of different places to educate and make people aware of how to support those around them. And in late 24, we actually just we launched a podcast, and so we've been going just a year now. It's the Voices Against Violence Harmony House podcast. You can find us on anywhere you listen to a podcast. But has been really, really successful in reaching people across the entire globe. We got that end of year data from the podcasting services and got to look at where are people listening to us from. It was really cool to see the reach and that message in particular has been really, really great to see. So I encourage people to tune in and listen to Charity and Kirsten talk about all the great things happening at Harmony House, but also they dive into the issues and the dynamics around abuse so we can help educate people about what it looks like.
Well, I tell you what, the podcast is a great idea. So you've been doing that a year now?
Yes.
So that I don't know whose idea that was. Was that your idea?
I won't take credit. No, somebody came to me with it, and I said, "Go, let's do it."
I think that's absolutely great. So let's talk about men. People don't think about it. They think that domestic abuse, domestic violence is all about women, and it's primarily women. But occasionally there's going to be men, and so you actually have a facility that has room for some men.
Yes,
and so I think
it's a population that's probably more underreported because of some of the things I talked about earlier. Of nobody's going to believe me if I said this. If I said my female partner or my partner as a man was abusing me in a multitude of the ways that we know about. The concern and the first thought that goes through anybody's head, but predominantly in male survivors, is nobody's going to believe this. But again, we do, and we want to one, have you encourage you to reach out, talk to our advocate team, but also understand that you're not alone in this, and there are people that are going through the same scenarios and the same issues that you are, and they're not at all different from a female survivor. The unique thing about domestic abuse is it doesn't discriminate. Abuse is abuse. Power and control exists in no matter what kind of relationship it appears in. And it doesn't discriminate based on gender or race or socioeconomic status or anything. It can occur, and it happens every day. And I think that's one of the things that we are leaning into so strongly, is talking about what it looks like, because we want you to know that it's going to look very similar no matter who you're interacting with. And we want you to understand that it is abuse. If it looks like it, it probably is.
And you offer the same type of services?
Everything.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah. It's in our mission statement that all individuals deserve a life free from abuse. And that's everybody.
Yeah, I like your mission statement, because I always, when I'm looking at any company, any project that is going on, I like to read mission statements, because if you got a concise, important mission statement, and when you have things like that, to me, it really tells me the value and the importance and where you have it together on what you're providing for people. So you have do a great mission statement. I wanted to talk to you about the eye care. We're going to run out of time, but I think that's a great program. Back when I had my political talk show for 7.5 years on KWTO AM 560 and 93.7 FM. We had a large group, and I used to have Harmony House on then, and we would get that kit, and we'd black out our eye on one eye, and I would leave that on all day long. So wherever I was working, I was a state rep back then, and wherever I was working, people would say, do you have an accident? Did you run into something, or And I'd say, no. This is in support of domestic abuse and violence, and just to let you know it's out there and things like that. So I used to have something I'd read off of what what you guys had for businesses and people, and I think that's a great thing. That if people would help you do that, they're all walking different places. Everybody's going different places every day, but you need to always bring awareness to this important issue. This is a social issue, social cause. When Jim Whining, our CEO of Acts Ministry, and he's a volunteer too, we're all volunteers. When we started this, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to do social issues, social causes, with positive solutions. You have all positive solutions. So this is an ideal show for us.
Well, thank you.
But we're going to do our sponsors, and then I'm going to come back and let you have last words, okay?
That sounds great.
Okay, so Brad Pistow is a certified fiduciary financial planner located in Ozark, Missouri. His phone number is 417-581-9222, 417-581-9222. He is licensed in 22 states. He has 2 books that are best-selling, #1 Amazon books on retirement. The first one is Safe Money Matters. The second one is Bulletproof. You need those books, but you don't have to buy the books. You can call, again, 417-581-9222, and they will send you information. They will send you a book, and there's no charge. And when he sees you, whether it be a phone call or in person, there is no charge. And I highly recommend him. I use him. I have for several years. A lot of my friends and business associates, people in public service like I am today, we all use him. He actually helps us with retirement planning, but he also helps us make money. Right now, you can still make money and be in retirement planning. And so he always has this saying, and I know it's true. If you use Brad Pistow, you will never run out of money before you run out of life, okay? A lot of people worry because the cost of living today is a problem. And so people worry about, well, I have enough money to survive my lifetime. And so I would highly recommend Brad Pistow, located right in Ozark, Missouri. But because he's licensed in all those other states, don't worry about it, because if you're in another state that he's not licensed in, he has business associates there. He knows people in all 50 states as he goes around and talks all over the country. He contributes to Wall Street Journal, USA Today, all kinds of publications. He is the real deal on retirement planning. So I highly recommend him. The second sponsor we have is Springfield Nissan, Springfield Kia. It used to be Youngblood Motor Group. That's John Whittaker, and now the sales manager, general sales manager, Aaron Swanson. These guys, all of these guys, Brad Pistow will be on our show very soon, and so will Springfield Nissan, Springfield Kia. We like to have our sponsors on twice a year to let people know what we have right here in Southwest Missouri. My last car I bought was September 1st, Labor Day. I bought a Kia Sorento and SUV, and the 2 cars previous to that were Jeeps from the same group, and I just can't say enough about them. Their phone number is 417-882-3838, 417-882-3838. Call them. They're located in Springfield, Missouri on South Campbell. New cars on one side, used cars on the other. Impeccable service after the sale. Really, it was a good experience buying the car on Labor Day. And I wouldn't say that I've had experiences in the past when it's not been as much fun, okay? So highly recommend those 2 sponsors. Okay, so what do you want to leave our audience with?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, if you or someone you know is experiencing an abusive situation, please contact us. There's a number of ways to do it. They're all free. They're all confidential and anonymous. 417-864-SAFE, our hotline. On our website at myharmonyhouse.org, there is a live chat feature. Please reach out to somebody. We believe you, and we want to help you connect with somebody. But, as we talk about our 50th anniversary this year, it's amazing to look at, all the things that I've talked about today of the offerings and the programs that we have to support people, and the support of this community has really brought us along these 50 years. But to think back to, 50 years ago of how this originated with just a few volunteers that saw a need, they saw a problem in this community they wanted to respond to. We're proud to still be here supporting this community. But, it's a little bittersweet because we wish we didn't have to exist in some instances, right? That sometimes jokingly say that I may be the only guy in town trying to work himself out of a job. Because if we're doing all the things the right way, then there's not a real need for the services that we provide.
Well,
but I think, unfortunately, we're going to keep doing that, and so we're so appreciative to this community, our staff, our volunteers that keep a safe place for survivors of domestic abuse, and we just hope we can continue to do that.
Well, Jarod, I know that around this area, you and your staff are very much appreciated, and we're glad you're here. If we had a little bit more kindness, and we had just a I don't know. I don't know why it's increasing every year. Everything around us is kind of. I kind of look about our life and what's going on in our country and the world kind of like a top. When I was a kid growing up, you'd spin that top, and it was so pretty with all those colors just spinning around. It was so smooth, and today it seems kind of like our country and our world is kind of wobbling. That top needs to be pushed again and get started because it's moving, it's going around and around, but it's kind of like wobbling a little bit, and we need to get our foundation and hope and pray that people will quit being mean to each other. And I'm sure that's another reason for why we have divorces and things like this. And so I don't know, but I appreciate you being here today. You're a difference maker. Make sure you go back and tell your staff that they're all difference makers. Your volunteers are difference makers. We don't ever have anybody on our show unless they're a difference maker.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
So really appreciate it. And one last thing, just we got about 2 minutes. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How'd you get involved in Harmony House?
Oh boy. Well, I've been in nonprofit my entire career. I'm local and native to Southwest Missouri, and was in fundraising prior to coming to Harmony House, and had a person reach out and said there might be an opportunity. They're looking for somebody to join the team, and so I've really only been there since 2019. Was on the development staff there, and then just had the opportunity now over 3 years ago to take over in the executive director role. But I've been in youth serving programs and nonprofit programs across the region here, and so just helping others is really important, and connecting people to ways that they want to help others is really what I look at it as. Like, how can we connect the resources in your life to somebody that's going to make a difference in their life?
Well, I tell you what, just seeing you again today, they got the right person. They got the right person. You've got the great personality, demeanor to help people. You've got the heart to help people. And that's so important. If people today, I'd challenge anyone, just go out there and find something today. We just had a program on called the Good Neighbor Program, and through the University of Missouri Extension Council, and I'm on the board of that. And it's I'm doing that every month in Christian County, culminating up to October when we choose some of the recipients that were good neighbors. Go out and be a good neighbor to someone today. Do something nice and kind. We'll be back next week, and I think that we're going to have a great show again next week. We're going to have a lady we're going to talk about autism. We're going to talk about autism. It is a very important issue that's going on, and we'll see what we can figure out next week. Everyone have a great weekend, and we'll be back next week. God bless.